Good evening, dear students. My name is Prakash Babu, and again today I am here with one more important topics from our important subject auditing. And as per your kind information, I am an assistant professor in Utkarsh Business School, CB Ganj, Bareilly. So all the new viewers who are watching my video for the first time, they can be in touch with me for any other further queries. You can contact me on my WhatsApp number 6397635767, or you can mail me at my email ID pgprakashgang@gmail.com. If you have any query or any comment, you can leave a comment on my comment box in my YouTube channel. So let's go ahead with one of the important topics, that is audit notebook. And for the kind information, this is our fourth class, and let's talk about audit notebooks. So what are audit notebooks? When we talk about auditing, audit notebook is nothing but it's a record book which have been maintained by an auditor or audit assistant for the purpose of future reference or for any uncertainties. It will be a reference book, you can say, where audit assistant will be writing all the unclear doubts or any of the issues which requires further clarification. That kind of all issues will be written in this kind of notebook. So it's basically an alert book, you can say, or a reminder book, which will be helpful for an auditor to keep a record of certain issues and further clarification if it is required, or any explanation required on that particular issues, that can be sought out within a day, or as per the comfort zone being decided by the audit team. So let's see about some of the importance of audit notebook. Here Justice William throw light on importance of audit notebook in following words. So let's see the importance of audit notebooks. So uh, what audit notebook that contain detailed information proved to be very helpful to auditor in every critical movement for preparing audit report. It is very useful for the auditor. So as you can see here, um, that is helpful for auditor in every critical movement. This line is very much important. If you want, you can note have a note of it. Very helpful to the auditor in every critical movement. What is that critical movement they are talking about? Critical movement in the sense, if any court case is there, or any kind of issues relating to any quarreling, or any disputes in the company with regards to sales or purchase transactions, business transactions. So all these issues are they become critical at a certain point. So for that particular movement, this notebook is required, because it provides notebook contains each and every information with respect to all the necessary or all the remarked issues, or doubtful issues which needs further clarification. So by seeing this audit notebook, notebook uh, will be proved as a reference. We can say it's a reference book where it will be useful for solving a critical issues. So that's why audit notebook is required. Its importance is more than the any other book. Then let's see the objective of audit notebook here. The first one is to know about the nature of business. Yeah, from audit notebook we can easily know the nature of business, because here the business, what kind of business a particular uh, company is dealing with, that nature of business is already mentioned in this notebook. And detection and prevention of frauds and error effectively. So detection and prevention of frauds, whatever the frauds being done deliberately by XYZ people who are working in the company, or they may be they may be internal as well as external parties also. So errors will be done by the person unintentionally, so these kind of errors will also be notified. The second one is to make the future audit work easier. So the future audit work will become easier. So in future also, if a company requires any auditing in any of the field, that particular mm, audit notebook will be uh, useful for audit work. So it doesn't require, so auditor need not to spend money, or need not to spend uh, any other extra efforts to maintain another register, because that same old register will be useful. Because once that history will be seen from that notebook, you can easily draw a new figure also from that particular historical figures. Then the third one is to know the facts where clarification and explanation are essential. Here you can see audit notebook helps us to find out the facts where clarification and explanation are essential. So here, as an auditor, we can see auditor is a person who is an individual, uh, who is individual personality, who doesn't who does not really do any kind of partiality between members or between a team members. So whatever the figures they are drawing, whatever the facts they are noticing, whatever the facts they are writing in their notebook, those facts will be, you know uh, those facts will be believable, we can see. And that facts will help us to get the clarification and any explanation on any critical issues. And the fourth one is to check the list of debtors and creditors in notebook also. Whatever the debtors and creditors are there for a particular business transaction, their names as well as the business transaction are also mentioned. And the fifth one is to present as a proof by auditor to clearance over the cases. And that audit notebook can also be presented as a proof or as an evidence by an auditor for any clarification over any court cases. Contents of audit notebook. So here you can see some of the contents of audit notebook. Content means what are the elements which can be present or which should be present in the notebook. So one by one we can see the contents. Basically, or we can say generally, there are six contents we can talk about here. The first one is a copy of audit program will be there. Audit program is the what the audit plan being designed by a particular auditor. That audit program, full copy of that audit program will be there in the audit notebook. Then the second one is the nature of business and important document related to the business. Whatever the nature of business is there, that particular nature nature mean to say what kind of business a particular company is dealing with. That particular nature is mentioned, and important documents relating to the business. There may be a memorandum of association, or uh, such kind of document, or a registration document. These kind of documents will be mentioned in the audit notebook. So the name of clients and audit year, this will be mentioned in the audit notebook. And the list of books of account, their list is also may also be mentioned. Fifth, the name of principal officers, their duties and responsibilities. Obviously, the name of the principal officers, it means the important principal officers who are ever is involved in the business transactions. Their names will be mentioned, and their duties and whatever their responsibilities are there in the company. All those things will be mentioned. And the sixth one is accounting and financial policies followed by the businesses. Accounting and financial policies followed by the business, whatever the business is following the accounting financial policy, because each and every business is following accounting and financial policies that may differ from each other. So it's not like that one business is following a financial or accounting policy may be same for some other business or some other company. It may be differ, it may differ also. So all this major or general point will be mentioned in the audit notebook. So these contents are general contents which should be mentioned in the audit notebook. So this is it is the duty of an auditor or assistant auditor to see to that these six elements or major contents will be present in the audit notebook. So these are called the important information or the sound information. On the basis of these six information, these sound contents, uh, on the basis of this, auditor can easily present all these in court of law as a reference, in court of law, or in for any court case as a reference, so that clarification and any if any clarification is required on part of any of this business transaction, this notebook or audit notebook will be present as a proof or as an evidence. Let's see about the advantages of notebook, audit notebook. So basic advantages are audit report. We can prepare an audit report from the audit notebook. So audit notebook is helpful to prepare an audit report. The auditor can record the weaknesses of accounting records. The queries not properly answered are started in audit report, and auditor is satisfied he can submit a clear report. So audit report can be made, it can be made by an audit report, by an audit notebook. From the audit notebook we can see the important issues, and easily we can draw a particular audit report. Second one is staff honesty. Major advantages of audit notebook is staff honesty. So whoever the staff is involved in audit, those will be given a proper guideline and the proper time constraint or the time frame within which they have to perform a audit work. So it shows there whoever is performing their task or the audit work in time, they will be appreciated, and whoever they are not able to perform on time, they will be given a particular time frame or they will be held responsible for it. So it will reflect a time staff honesty. Then helpful for memory. So it is useful for helpful for memory as well. So audit notebook, why it is we can say it's a helpful for memory, because in a long run we are not able to human tendency is lot it's like that. They'll be able to store few of the data in their mindset. They're not able to store a large data. So that large data can be maintained, that can be stored in the audit notebook itself. So it will be helpful for memory. So you can maintain a large amount of data in audit notebook. Then reference. Audit notebook is useful for reference as well. As I have told you earlier, if any of the court cases or any of the clarification is required on any critical issue or any of the dispute, audit notebook will be presented as a reference that this particular issue has already been noticed and already been remarked, and particular audit work has been carried out for further clarification of that particular issue. So it will be act as an it will be proof, it will be act as a reference. Then fifth one is new auditor. So the major advantage is if any new auditor comes into picture. Or say for example, a company hires a new auditor, then it will make new auditor works easier. Because why? Because that audit notebook will be present in the company, and that audit notebook, the previous data or the old data will be useful for the new auditor as well. So whatever the audit notebook contents are mentioned in the audit notebook, those contents will be written by the old auditor, and that old auditor will be leaving that audit notebook with the company itself. So that audit notebook will be carried forward to the new auditor, so that he can see the critical point or the weaknesses of the previous year, or any critical issues whichever is mentioned in the audit notebook. A lot of flaws and a lot of errors or frauds, whatever is there, all critical issues or important issues will be highlighted in that notebook. And according to that particular audit notebook, new auditor can easily comes in flow, and they can prepare their own audit report accordingly. And the sixth one is court cases. In case of court cases, audit notebook will be helpful to defend an auditor in court cases. The people can go to the court of law in order to fix liability for negligence of duty. The audit notebook is written proof for work performed by an auditor. So it's like written proof, as you can say. Audit notebook is like a written proof of work performed by the auditor. So here it is already clear. So need not to explain further about the audit notebook. So it is very, we can say it's a very important document, or very important book or record book, which can be helpful for future references, where we can protect our company from lots of issues. So that's all for today. We have gone through this topic, and it was nice talking to you, dear friends and students. So be in touch with me for the next class we are coming up with very soon, and we'll be coming up with more topics, more important topics to be discussed later. So let's wind up for today. Be in touch with me for the next class, and for any queries or any comment, please leave a comment in my comment box in YouTube channel. And for any personal query or for any assistance, if you want, you can directly contact me at 6397635767. Thank you. Thanks for today. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.